I really haven't done anything for YouTube for a long time, and I thought maybe I should. I should maybe be more regular. Low effort, but regular. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. I do a lot on TikTok. I try and review every book I read there, and I kind of like the community. I like the fact that I don't have to put too much effort into doing videos. Videos can be 1 to 3 minutes, and that's it. Easy done. With YouTube, it feels like I need to do something longer, something more productive, something worth watching, but I'm not good at this. I never thought I was good at this. I just like being part of the community, so I made a channel and I uploaded videos, made some great friends, follow a lot of YouTubers here on BookTube that I really enjoy, and just lurk in the background, I guess. But I thought, hey, might be a good day to do another video. Just some of the highlights I've read for the quarter, quarter, first half of the year, and like just something casual. I probably won't even edit this, so that awkward quarter bit's gonna probably stay there. I'm currently reading Dr. No. I'm reading a lot of other books at the same time, but this is the main one, and I am really enjoying this. It's a real satirical, comical take on the whole supervillain kind of elements. This is my first Percival Everett book, and everyone says I probably should read The Trees, and who knows, maybe I will, but pick this up at the library and having a lot of fun reading it. So that's what I'm currently reading. As for highlights for the first half of the year, I don't think I've read that many great books. I've read good books, but not things that I would highlight. I feel like a lot of my reading has really slowed down, and I'm just taking my time and enjoying what I'm reading. Have been reading a lot of crime novels. For some reason, I've gotten into this idea of reading through the whole Harry Bosch universe, and I think it was the fact that the Lincoln Lawyer TV show had come out recently, and I haven't seen the Bosch TV show. So I thought, hey, maybe I should do the whole universe. And I just like crime novels as an escapism, and I think Michael Connelly does a good style of crime, and I just wanted to see how his style progressed with later books, because I have been reading the Renee Ballard series, but I haven't really read some of his older stuff, so this was a chance to catch up. But man, that's a lot of male authors, and I am still struggling to get that balance right of male, female, non-binary authors. I think that's going to be a never-ending issue, but I do read a lot more female authors, and I think the 4 books I want to highlight today, 3 of them are females, and surprise, surprise, they're all translated, because I still love my translations. So let's start with a book that I started last year. So I'm dropping everything. I'm trying to do this without editing, and I'm making too much noise. So I started Our Share of Night last year, and probably took me 6 months to read it. It is a big book. It's over 900 pages, I believe. It is not. It's only 725 pages. But there was something about it that really required me to read slowly, really digest everything and process what was going on. And I think the main thing was
Interesting question.
that just my phone, my watch trying to interrupt. I think the main thing about this is the saints, and I was kind of curious about these pagan saints and these pagan rituals and stuff like this, and trying to understand those kind of things. But also, this is kind of like an allegory of Argentine political regime changes, and there was so much I don't know about Argentinian history and the politics, so trying to research that, trying to understand that better, really played a lot into what I was doing while reading this. And what can I say? Now that I've read the book, now that I've gone down the rabbit hole on the internet trying to understand it, I still don't understand it. I feel like I need to learn more, watch some more documentaries, and keep researching it. I love Argentinian literature. I love Marianne Enriquez, and I love translator Megan McDowell. And while I recommend her short stories more than this, I had a lot of fun reading this. I had a lot of fun seeing where it led me, trying to understand the world and trying to understand the pagan rituals, trying to understand the politics, trying to understand what she's saying. And I guess that's what makes a great book, something that dives me into the topic, something that takes time to enjoy but allows me to want to know more about the world and want to know more about what's going on. So, what a great book. It won the International Booker Prize, so obviously I'm going to talk about it. Time Shelter was fantastic. A weird sci-fi novel that was really exploring this idea of the mind and memories and dementia and all these kind of elements. And I was really fascinated by this book. I think I like the style. I think that's what really got me going. It has that really gritty kind of noir pulpish style of writing, but then it's really dealing with the history, really dealing with memory, really going into these different elements, and it was a lot of fun to read. And I'm so glad it won the International Booker Prize, because I think there's so much to explore there and so much to talk about. But it wasn't my favourite book. I didn't read the entire long list, I didn't read the entire short list yet, but I do own all the books, so eventually I probably will have read them all. But this wasn't my favourite from the list, and that would be the next book that I want to talk about, Stillborn. I like the look of the Fitzcarraldo editions, but once you've read them, they look a little battered, a little worn. But this is a Mexican book. Guadalupe Natal is kind of really exploring those ideas of growing up and being pressured to give birth to children. Like, women are only expected to do one thing, and it's got these two women that decide that that's not the life they want to live. That's not what they want to do. However, one of the women just decide that they do want to have a child and they do want to reproduce, and then we go exploring all the complicated elements of their friendship, but also trying to give birth to this child because the doctor has told them that this child's probably not going to survive birth, or when it does survive birth, it's not going to live long, and it is heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, and it hits hard, but I feel like it's well worth reading. I feel like it's definitely something to explore, and it's one of those books that just sits in my heart and on my mind, constantly thinking about it, trying to remember those feelings, trying to remember these characters, wanting to revisit it. And I probably don't reread as much as I should, just because I've got so many books I want to read. But this is definitely going to be one of those books that I will have to return to at a later date and really explore, because there's something about this book that just weighs on my mind and I need to pick it up again. And I think Rosalind Harvey was the translator of this one. I don't know if I mentioned who translated Time Shelter, which is Bad of Me. It was Angeline Rodel, and this is a Bulgarian book. But my favourite book of the year so far has to be This Is Not Miami by Fernanda Machado, and this is translated by Sophie Hughes, another Mexican author. And I want to read so much more of this style of book, because it's a combination of journalism and short stories. So she takes these things that have happened in the news and incorporates a short story to try and tell what has actually happened, and I found that's fascinating. I think it's called Chronicas. It's a genre style in Latin America, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I just love that style. I really, really was drawn by it. It was like a beautiful blend of non-fiction and fiction, and just makes me want to search for more of those type of books. So if you've got any recommendations, definitely please hit me up. It's really interesting because for a long time I thought I wasn't a fan of short stories and I wanted to have a more fleshed out story, but things like this and Marianne Enriquez's short story collections really prove that wrong. It's the quality of the story, I think, and if you've got like a theme or something that kind of ties it all together, I really love it. I really am drawn to see where the author takes me, just exploring their style, exploring their works, and exploring their thoughts. And this might actually be my favorite Fernanda Machado book. I love Hurricane Season. It's dark, it's gritty, it's well worth exploring. But this one, I think I prefer. I think I just like this style. I'm really drawn to it, and I like how she takes like tabloid or weird news stories and just builds out these interesting stories about what has happened with like aliens and supernatural and all those kind of things, and it was such a joy to read. So favorite book so far of the year. Hopefully I discover more great books in the second half of 2023, and I don't know, maybe do more reading updates here, and hopefully have more conversations about books, because that's what I love. I just love talking about what I'm reading and talking about translated literature. Thank you for watching. All my social media and everything is down below. I am on TikTok a lot more, and probably Threads more than Twitter nowadays, but let's have a conversation about books.